Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Strange Issue 10. Yeah, I really like this cover because it's got all the kind of cool elements. You got Clea in the background, being the big kind of figure. You got Steven, you got Wong, you got Director Nunn, you got frickin' bats. It's just a really nice kind of cool cover, and it works to being the concluding issue of this kind of story with the whole blasphemy cartel. And I can't wait to kind of see what they do with the relaunch for Doctor Strange and what's going to be going on with the status quo there. So, last time we saw that the Revenant Prime is pumped and ready to go. And that is still the case. Clea pretty much giving us the lowdown that, she's known power and she's frightened of the Sentry. And that this is not something that she takes lightly. And we've seen her mess with some shit. So, her being scared's a big kind of thing with this. And Steven, of course, is telling her to run, but she's like, nah, screw that shit. And they start blasting him, and I just love the art being able to back it up, where the Sentry just, like, shrugs off their shit. It's like, holy shit. And I love how she's talking about how, like, the Sentry was like a god walking the earth in life, but now that he's, like, dead in death, he's like a god of demons. It's like, shit. And he just stops her with, like, one hand. And even Steven tries to, like, take him on with Death's Blade, but that doesn't even faze him. That's like, oh, that's not good. And Director's None like, man, this dude's more than we thought it'd be. And that the Revenants that they battled were just, like, merely incidental for this thing. It's like, yep, this is what they were kind of going for. Let's see here. And then we see that Steven kind of shields Clea, trying to, like, get at the Sentry, get at the Revenant Prime using his magics, but the thing is, it just goes blasting on him. And, of course, the Director's like, it's the perfect specimen, no mind is suborn. Your quick cantrips and rotes slide right off of him, and your greater magics, he's never going to give you time to, like, do them, as he's beating Steven to pretty much, like, a pulp. And she's talking about how even Steven's body can't, like, take the punishment. He's too fast, too strong, as he's pretty much taking them on with no trouble whatsoever. Seeing Steven just pretty much lying, pretty much broken, as she's trying to get to him. And, of course, Director Nunn's kind of gloating and everything, saying that he's kind of disappointed, saying that the Trinity of Ashes were terrified of Strange, but that this showing was pathetic. And Clea's like, I won't leave you. We live or we die. We do it together. And they pretty much say that their final moments they're going to do one of, like, pretty much of love, of defiance. And I'm like, yeah, all right. And we'll see what actually kind of happens as they touch and kiss. And we get this great, I love the use of color here, showing, like, the opposing forces of, like, light and dark, death and life, and all that kind of stuff. And as she's talking about, like, the opposing magics and how they kind of feel, flame and ice, acid and stone, how they kind of feel crashing together. Raw metaphysical energy could, like, wipe Emerald City from existence. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's of love and defiance, and they know the catastrophe that could break, and it could actually take out the Revenant Prime. Let's see. But we see that she has been working on handling opposing forces because of being the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension and of Earth. And she has brought those energies to, like, heal. And she has, like, a fragment of Strange's soul, so would that not be, like, used as a bridge as they use that and become one from two? And then we see, this is fucking great. I love the fucking crazy looking fusion of them both. That is just beautiful, because the colors and the craziness, the cosmic kind of stuff going on there. Life, death, light, dark, man, woman, faulting, human, Clea, Steven. And then Director Nunn is like, what are you? And then it just says Strange. It's like, yep, that works. And of course, he orders the Revenant Prime to kill this new entity, and we get the. I love the kind of fusion of like how they kind of talk, because then we get to a point where they're like kind of going against each other a little bit. Not hard, mind you, but still, it kind of helps. And talking about how like the Sentry attacks like the hammer of an angry god, and we meet his attack, and we are its equals. That's a big thing. This follows a different kind of like shonen kind of thing of you show the abilities of the thing that you're up against, and then when you get to another kind of part where the heroes get to be on the same kind of level, you show how they're equal with it. I love seeing that kind of stuff. And I love how they say that Bob Reynolds deserves better, you are more than a mere vessel, and they like take down the shackles of the magic holding all of the souls and just blast him. And Director Nunn's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, that's gonna annihilate everything in a mile's radius. And then Stranger's like, that's of little concern to us. But then of course they start kind of like arguing as Steven's like, hey, there's like hundreds of people on this base, we can't allow them to all die. But of course Clea's like, they are of no import, for all they have done to us, let them die. But he's like, we cannot, my love. And she's like, alright, fine. And then we get this great fucking look of them like doing this magical kind of incantation that it's like far outside the abilities of either Sorcerer Supreme or the Harvest Man. Not without hours of preparation, endless deals with outer powers, the consumption of magical artifacts, but for the thing that we are, it is nothing, an afterthought. I love that explanation of stuff going on with this kind of level of magic, because that's kind of what you have to do. It's very hard to kind of show why this being is being able to do these kind of magics without doing those kind of deals for the price and everything. But we see all the people kind of like fleeing from the explosions and all that, and we see that their magic surround them and place them safely across the earth, annihilating from their minds every memory of their lives as the Blasphemy Cartel agents. A second chance of humanity, which is kind of nice, and we see that they're still kind of split on if they do or don't deserve it. And the thing is, except one, Director Nunn. And like, you made yourself a ghost of a sort, and we cannot save you as we did your men. And he's thinking that like, I don't want to be saved by you. You think the Trinity will be like fooled by like a parlor trick or anything, saying you think this is over? And I love it. The Strange Being is like, no, nothing is ever over. Goodbye. As they pretty much leave him, and he is like calling out to the Trinity of Ashes to save him, but boom, we see the explosion. And it's like, okay, now, would I have liked some more information on Director Nunn? Yeah, we might get that in the future. We don't quite know, but that's kind of the end that we get from Director Nunn right here, which actually works out. I would like more information, but do I need it? Not really. Like, if this were the last we got of Director Nunn, I'd be fine with it. And then we see that they separated, talking about the Blasphemy Cartel being done, saying that it was, like, jarring to be together. And then we see things going on with Steven, and it's like, oh god, what the hell's going on? But he's like, I live! And I like his kind of old school kind of outfit that he's got there. Really kind of cool. And then, of course, Death is like, indeed, I do not renege on my bargain, Stephen Strange. The Revenant threat is ended. Your time as the Harvest Man is complete. You have earned your life back. Use it well. Until we meet again, Doctor Strange. And I like that. I'm like, alright, Death, there you go. Cool to keep your promises and everything. And to not really have hard feelings against Doctor Strange. It's like, that's kind of cool. I like that kind of shit. And then Strange is like asking her what we should do next and go home. And that they can think of other things as well, and they just kind of start flying off into the setting sun, which is really cute and adorable and just fucking well done, and it's really kind of cool to see that. And then that they can later talk about transfers of power, their renewed attentions of dark gods and the like, but for now, there's nothing but the wind in our hair and the sun gilding the skies of a new day, and love returned. And I love that. That's really cool, and it's not cheap to me, because they went through a lot of shit to get here. It is earned, at least in my opinion. Like, if you feel differently, that's cool. I can understand not being happy with how that kind of ended, but that's the kind of endings that I'm kind of good with. And then, of course, talking about how we'll get Doctor Strange again I think in like March. But yes, I am definitely intrigued to see how that kind of goes. I liked this run. I liked seeing Clea having to deal with the Blasphemy Cartel, with the whole Harvest Man, and I liked that that was kind of strange, and then dealing with not being able to be together and trying to figure out how that kind of worked, and then getting back together with Strange coming back alive. And it was a very beefy task for a dead Sorcerer Supreme to do, dealing with people resurrecting souls and making revenants and binding them and everything like that. It's like, okay, you can't say that he just, oh, Strange just came back to life just because of willy-nilly. Nah, he had a journey to get there, and Cleo was an important part of that journey, and I liked learning about her character and how she dealt with being the Sorcerer Supreme and how she operated. It was really kind of cool because I hadn't really been that well versed with her, and I liked getting to know her more, seeing how she handled things, and her kind of whole modus operandi. And I hope that she still is an important kind of key character going forward with the new kind of relaunch, and that they give her some good material to work with. And I'm just excited to see more of Long, the Bats, and Steven, and Clea, and to see what kind of weird shit they gotta deal with. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.